Hey everybody. So we've created a enemy for our game, and now what we want to do is actually animate it. So it moves around, but it isn't animated, and that's no fun. We want to animate it. So what we're going to do is get into our content drawer, and we're going to add a new blueprint. We're just going to say blueprint, but it's not blueprint. We're going to go to animation. So it should be under it, and we want blend space. And what this does is it allows multiple animations to be blended with one thing, so that we only need one animation, but it'll take care of multiple things that we're going to be doing. So we're going to add it to and we should get a skeleton pick, and what we want is the mannequin skeleton. So we're going to name it, and I always like saying whatever type it is the first part, just so that when we need to find it, we can easily find it. So I'm putting BS for blend space, and then it's just an enemy. So because it's the enemy's animation. And so we're going to double click that and open it up and edit it. And so you'll see we get a picture of a mannequin, and on the right hand side you should see under asset details there's the access settings, and we're going to see a name, and if you move the line a little bit more, you could read what the thing says is minimum access value and maximum access value, and it should be set to 100 right now. We're going to make it 600, and we're going to just call this speed, just for walking speed and running speed and everything. So now we have our character, and you could kind of pan around and see what he looks like. So we want to find what animations we want to use. So I'm going to just look for an idle. Right, that's just him standing there, because he kind of looks silly with his arms out to his side. People don't usually stand that way. So there's lots of idols. If we hover over it, it should pop up what it looks like. Now this one is for a pistol, and we don't have a pistol, we don't have a rifle, so we just want the mannequin idling. And what we're going to do is we're going to click, idle. We're going to click on it, and we're going to drag it into the window, and you should see like a little dot that appears, hopefully. And you could kind of make this at the 0 speed, right? Because that's idle. And so now you can kind of see what our character does at idle speed, right? So then we're going to change it to walk, because we want to walk, and again, we don't have pistols, we don't have rifles, so we just want unarmed. And so if we click and hold, don't double click, just a piece of advice. If you want to read the names a little bit better, you can make your window bigger. I need to make my window bigger. You might not need to, because I make it zoomed in so it's easier to read on the videos. So we just want this one that says unarmed walk forward. And I'm just going to do the same thing. We'll click and drag this into the environment. And now I also want, you could try looking for run, but I don't think there is one. I think it's jog now. And so we're going to find this jog, and I'm going to click and drag that in as well and put that near the end for the 600. And we're going to save this file, save all. And I think if you hold the control key and mouse over these, you're going to see what it kind of previews as. So use your control, like, right, if I don't have it on, it's kind of going crazy. But if I have a control key pressed and I hover over one of these, it kind of looks like what now he's walking, and then now he's jogging. So that's all we needed for blended space. So we're going to get out of the blended space. And now what we need is so blended space is the animation part, but we actually need a blueprint for the actual animation. So we're going to right click, get in our content drawer, right click, go back to animation and say animation blueprint. We're going to get the mannequin that we did before. And again, we're going to call it blueprint enemy, but now we already have blueprint enemy, so we're going to need to add more. So this one's specifically animation. And double click to edit it. And this one should be fairly easy. So you can see we have our little guy here, and what we need to do is add the blend space that we made. So right, so we're going to search for our blended space, and it should pop up, right? So our enemy, and we're going to connect those. And now, so now we have our guy running, and we notice we don't have speeds in here, so we need to actually get the speeds, right? Because we had idle and walking and running or jogging speed. So now we want to change these. So we want a variable for this. So we're going to right click this and just say promote to variable. Maybe. There we go. Promote to variable. Right click. It should work. And then we're going to go into the event graph over here and actually update that. And we need to get the values from the BP enemy, right? So we're going to return from here, and we're going to look for BP enemy. So we're casting to the BP enemy. That means we're going to go get the information so that we make sure we're putting it on the right enemy. And we're going to need to connect this to our event so that it happens, right? So this event is a blueprint update animation. So this is how we're actually going to get it to update the animation. And we need to then change its the speed, right? So we want to set speed, the one that we added on the other one. So that's what we're updating, right? Is we want to update the speed, but we have to get the speed. So what we're going to do is from this player, that's where we're going to find the information, right? And so it is character movement is what we want in here. So it's under variables, so you might have to scroll for a while or just keep typing. So we want get character movement. And this is going to give us what values are in the player's movement speed. So like, and I mean the enemy's movement speed. And the value we want specifically is the velocity. So we're going to get velocity. And this is, again, you're going to have to search for it. Yikes, that is wrong scroll. So we'll try that again. We'll click out from it, and we're going to say get velocity. And we're going to have to scroll down here, and it should just be by itself. It should be a yellow option. And, you know, we can zoom in and out of these, but I'm trying to make it so we could read what it says on the screen. So we've casted it to the player, or to the enemy, and we're setting the speed, and we're getting the speed from the enemy that we got, right? But you'll see that this is velocity is yellow and the green is the speed is green. So that means that there's two different things. And to get them to be matching, what we need is the something specific, which is the length. And we want the vector length. The vector length is what this velocity is. It tells us like how fast it's actually going. It's the conversion that we need to be able to convert it to the target's velocity into the speed that we need for to go into our character. So that's our blueprint. And when I hit compile, you'll notice that this started to actually move. And that's saying that it's doing animations. And so it's like constantly doing that. And so it's updating its animations, which is one of the things we want. And we're going to also make sure we come down and we save everything or go to file, save all, either way you want to do it. Now we need to go back to our BP enemy because we made the changes, right? We created the blueprint and everything, but we haven't put it on our enemy yet. So that's why we need to come back to our enemy. And on the right hand side, you're going to see that we're going to click on the enemy part, and there's an animation, and it might be closed, so you might need to hit the arrow next to it. And you might need to make the window bigger. I needed to make the window bigger, to see all this parts to it. So we want the anim class. So under animation, anim class, and we're going to look for our blueprint enemy animation. And so that's actually setting the animation for our blueprint. You can see we need to compile and file save all. And now we're going to come in and we're going to hit play and test out and see if, look, he's idling and now he's running towards us, and see if we could get behind him. So you can see he's just idling there, standing with his hands down, so not in the A pose anymore. And there you go. We have our animated enemy. I will see you in the next video.